I love the 1911. One of the guns that I have been looking at getting my hands on for probably a couple of years, dreaming about it before it became a thing, finding out that it was a thing, and then ultimately getting a chance to see it come to fruition. The Springfield Emissary 9mm short configuration, black on black. These exact things are what I've been looking for probably a couple of years since the Emissary has been out. I absolutely love the hand grenade pineapple checkering on here, and that goes through onto the grips. One of the few 1911s that I actually wouldn't change anything on the grips. This gun is nice and heavy. It's weighty. It has a rail that goes all the way through, back to front for any accessory that you'd like to use. It's been cut at the top on a tri-cut. 3 angles with front serrations. It has a nice bright tritium inserted yellow front sight, as well as a smiley rear sight, something that Springfield has done a lot of lately. It also has a fantastic flat trigger. I'm going to go ahead and load it with a fake round. And to show you, this trigger is nice and crisp. As far as a factory trigger goes, I really couldn't ask for a whole lot more. The safety is nice. It doesn't have a huge amount of travel, but it does have more than a lot of tuned grip safeties. The thumb safety, nice and positive. Feels just like my TRP. This gun has a bull barrel and a reverse guide rod system here. Look how thick that barrel is. Just chunky. And it just has these nice flat lines that go along the side to give it that kind of stealth fighter sort of look. It works with the HoloSun PID light. I really haven't picked a gun that I want this light to go on, but I put it on here just to add a little weight to the gun so that when I took it out shooting, I could get a chance to just see what it's like with a little bit of weight underneath the barrel. That being said, I like the gun exactly the way it is, and I don't necessarily see myself using the light. It uses standard 1911 9mm magazines, and it comes with 2 magazines here that have a rubber base pad, or nylon base pad perhaps. The grip screws are what appear to be hex or star key, which is good because that is just it's a little bit rounder and it shows more of a fluid look. The magazine release is not very pronounced, but there is a cut here so that you can actuate it really easily. I didn't have any issues dropping the magazines. It has a matte finish. I don't know if this is a Cerakote, a phosphate. To be honest, I just haven't looked at the exact specs. But I am kind of fond of it. It is kind of I don't know. It's matte enough with just the teensiest bit of gloss. So otherwise, I think that this is just it's a great looking gun. One of the things that I wanted when I looked for this gun was the fact that the regular Emissary has 2 different colors. I didn't care for that. Now the regular Emissary though has a blued slide and a stainless lower frame. This one is black on black, except it's black coated. So that's a little bit different. If it was all blued, I think I'd be over the moon for it. However, it just is what it is. Springfield Armory does give you this big dorky logo. I like just having the script on the side. That's one of those things where this logo is a bit busy, and so it seems like it's, just kind of a big chunk to look at. Although it reminds me of some cigar labels, so I mean, who's to say? Now, this gun is one that honestly I have just dreamt of and dreamt of and dreamt of. And that's where the fun ends. As I'm sure you're seeing right now, this gun was nothing but problems for me. As soon as I was able to get it out at the range, the very first round that I loaded out of any magazine failed to feed, and it got stuck in the chamber. One of the issues that you might see here is that this pistol has a feed ramp. I'm going to go ahead and grab a light here to show you. It has a feed ramp that goes up into the chamber. The feed ramp in this case does not have the best machining, and it does not match the sides of the profile inside the frame. Looks like too much material has been taken off, and a gunsmith actually told me he believes it might be too steep, maybe by up to 1 millimeter in some places. Now, it did have a light polish on it, and some of the shells that were coming out were a little bit scuffed on the sides, making me think that perhaps the chamber was just dirty or maybe had a little coat of lube in it. I will be fully honest, when I took this out, all I did was take a little tiny bit of, just some frog lube or whatever that I had in my range bag, and, do a couple of dots in some of the friction areas, down here on the barrel inside the recoil assembly. And then, because it was still refusing to feed, every single round that I was going into wouldn't go all the way into full battery. And so the slide would hang up and stick about here. And then I would have to get my hand and slam it forward to see if I could get the round to go in. Sometimes I had to slam it hard, and you can actually see there's quite a bit of debris on my hand from having to hit the slide into battery. A lot of times, as you can see on my thumb here, all I would have to do is just push it forward, bam, and then it would go out to about here, push forward, bam, and I would have to, I could flick it with my thumb. Safety and everything worked fine, magazine and everything worked fine, trigger and everything seemed to be great. However, one of the issues, again, that I've just had with this gun is just that the damn thing won't feed. And it started at every other round, maybe 4 out of 5 rounds, and then it slowly worked itself down. I did put 300 rounds through this gun today, very patiently. But eventually it got to a point where I thought, okay, it seems like it's going to feed, and it seems like it's going to run, but eventually all of the problems settled down, and they became a consistent 1 out of every 3 rounds that the gun will shoot will not feed. So I thought that it might just be a little bit of, wearing in, a little bit of break-in. Here's the thing when it comes to break-in, okay? This Stealth Arms Platypus required 0 break-in. I took it right out of the box, I squirted some lube on it, and I shot, and I've literally never had a single failure ever. Other guns that I've shot, my Taurus GX4, especially anything by Springfield, I've never had problems with. Maybe I'm fortunate in that when I have bought brand new guns, I have never. This gun don't fucking work! It seems that this gun is one that is absolutely plagued with problems right now. And that's just something that I'm so disappointed with. I had to wait a long time to see if I could find one of these in the wild. I don't like ordering 1911s online, and I don't think you should try to do it either. You need to get it in your hands and feel it yourself and feel exactly if you think that it's acceptable to have a level of play and action that you think is acceptable for you. This gun did for me. The action on this gun is so tight. Now, it's not so tight that it doesn't move, because it moves very freely. So I'm not worried about that. That's not what's causing the hang-up. It's something in the feed ramp, and I feel almost certain that it is. It's something inside this assembly up front here where the barrel is. It's not the magazine. I used both of the Springfield magazines, and I also used an Ed Brown magazine, which is a very, very, very nice magazine. So one of the issues then that I was looking at is, okay, is this going to, and I hate to use the term fix itself. Now, sometimes guns can fix themselves. You could have a part that will eventually self-clearance and get to the point where that part may actually just give itself enough room to function properly. That's called breaking in, right? A lot of guns wear in and they need some time to wear in. For me, I don't believe that a factory 1911 Springfield should have any wear in at all. And so I don't believe that whatever is going on with this gun is a matter of wear in. I do applaud Springfield for the exceptional slide to frame fit on this gun, but I don't give them any points for whatever's going on with this barrel. And that's the issue that I have. There's just so much about this gun that I love, from the aesthetics to the weight in hand. The gun shoots very lightly and it is very accurate. I was able to just stab rounds, down range. A lot of people tell me they think that I've got a funky grip. In 1911s, I don't use the standard grip like this. I use more of a kind of a cup grip. It's just the way that my hands are shaped, and because whenever I do run a grip that's high up here, I actually don't get a chance to push in the grip safety as far as I like, and sometimes I will get rounds where I have to shift my hands. So I just shoot down here. My results speak for themselves. I'm able to shoot lights out with most of my guns. That's just the way that I need to shoot with this exact gun. If you look at videos of me shooting any other guns, I do use a standard tactical grip like this. However, so I did try to use the tactical grip in this case, and it didn't have any change at all. So I went back to my normal grip, went to here. I wanted to see if my grip was the thing that was changing. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't limp wristing, I would just shoot some, sideways kind of gangster style to see if I could get any other effect other than the one that it was presenting. And it was the same. 1 out of every 3 rounds, maybe 1 to 1.5 if I were to, try to, put real statistical numbers to it, would not feed. And the slide would get stuck without going completely into battery. The slide would stick to about here. And or sometimes just like this, but it wasn't enough to let it go, and I could usually pop it forward, but about every 4th or 5th malfunction, I had to hit it with my hand. So that's something that is just extremely disappointing for me. I'm showing you all the footage here. Hopefully you're getting a chance to see some of the issues that I have. I'm very impressed with how light the gun shoots. It's extremely heavy, which I do like, and I think kudos to them for that. The trigger is extremely well set up and tuned. If I was going to tune anything, I might tune this grip safety to engage a little bit quicker. But there's nothing else on this gun that I really have any issues with. In fact, it was kind of going to be what I consider to be my next carry gun. Leaving it completely bone stock and just enjoying it for what it was. And oh, how disappointed I am, to see this. I think it's going to have to go back to Springfield. I don't want to spend any money on having my gunsmith mess with it. I think that the parts are out of spec to such a degree that they need to be replaced, especially maybe the barrel and the feed ramp, which is disappointing to me. I don't know if any fitment has been done with this particular barrel, but when you pay almost $1,500 for a gun, I think that you deserve to have it work out. So maybe what I'll do is give you a update on what's going to happen, or what is happening, after I hear back from Springfield. I'll tell you, one of the things I'm disappointed in, though, is just that I feel like I've got this brand new gun and now I have to fight to make it work, right? Because you can't just take a gun back. This was one in an entire gun show, right? And in the 10 trips that I've made at gun shows to see if I could find one, and in 20 different trips to stores, right? So this is one of those kind of things where you feel like never meet your heroes. Don't actually try to look at the demon in the eye, because it's gonna change you. And I think that my feelings for this gun have changed, in that I feel really let down. I'm hoping that the spark can be reignited if this thing can get fixed, but I'm a person that really likes to have something work on the first try. And I gotta say, I feel like I've been lucky to have had several dozen guns up to this point. The only ones that never worked out of the box brand new were Tauruses and Kel-Tecs. Go figure. Springfield is the thing you buy when the T-Sauce shouldn't work. And at this point, my T-Sauce has been more reliable than my brand new Springfield Armory Emissary. So it's still I think one of the most beautiful guns you can get right now. I think that this is one of the most desirable configurations of this exact gun. The 1911 single stack bull barrel, full rail Emissary with this wonderful checkering, the square trigger guard, this nice flat trigger, all these lightweight parts, all of the 1911 knickknacks that you'd want to have. This is just a gun that I really can't wait to be able to use. But I'm just so disappointed. So I thought I would share my experience, and I hope y'all are doing really well. Thank you.